this thought popped in my head before and this is sidetracking back to something you guys both said like 2.5 minutes ago. But, you talked about like the 14-hour days. And Mike was like, well, if you love what you do, X, Y, and Z, right? And one of the things my dad always told me growing up, my dad owned his own business. My mom, she worked for Albany Med. So I had both sides of it. My parents weren't together, but I had both sides of it. And I got to see, okay, this is what it's like to own your own business. This is what it's like to work for the corporate world, essentially.
Yeah.
And I've done both. And I always, like, in my heart of heart, I always wanted to be like my own business type thing. That's why I love the personal training thing.
And that's what's nice of union giving you freedom, though.
That's what I was
it's
gonna
like
say.
your thing, because like the type of personality that I feel like we have, you got to end up. You have your end place has to be somewhere where you have freedom and it's you.
Yes.
Correct.
And that's what I love about here. And the one thing my dad always told me was, do something you love because you won't ever work a day in your life. I have modified that.
Good. Yeah.
Because
it needs to be slightly modified.
Slightly modified. Do what you love. You will work twice as hard, but feel like you work half as much.
Oh.
That's how I feel about it. Because I feel like I work way harder than a lot of people that
How many
have jobs.
How many cut orders have you had to come to that, Paul?
Listen, I've thought of that for a long time.
Oh my God! Okay.
But it's like, because I think about it, I was like,
Mind-blown.
I
God,
work
that was
my
good.
ass off.
Jay, clip that shit for a second, please.
Yeah, time-stamped. I
Like
got it.
I work my ass off, and Mike works his ass off, and I know based off of just meeting you today, like you work your ass off. But there's days where you come in and it never, like today, I can honestly say today, from the time I got here, all the way through this podcast, not a moment today felt like work or hard or difficult. But I know that I work my ass off for those days.
Fuck yeah, Paul.